morning, I'm Agustín Zepeda for NewZtar Intelligence. Here is your global briefing for Monday, June 1, 2026. American forces struck Iranian military sites today after Iran fired missiles at U.S. troops in Kuwait. Tehran has suspended peace negotiations in response to the strikes. President Trump claims Israel and Hezbollah have agreed to dial back fighting in Lebanon, though Iran warns Israeli attacks threaten any ceasefire arrangement. But here is where the coverage diverges. Russian media reports Trump says negotiations are proceeding at rapid pace, while American and European outlets confirm Iran has completely suspended talks. European analysts dismiss Trump's ceasefire claims as premature, while American media presents them as established fact. Middle Eastern media frames Israeli aggression as the primary driver, not Iranian missile attacks. AI company Anthropic has filed confidential paperwork with the SEC for what could become one of the largest IPOs in history. The company beats rival OpenAI to public markets in what analysts are calling a trillion-dollar startup race. This gives retail investors their first chance to directly own shares in a leading AI foundation model company. But here is where the coverage diverges. American tech media uses superlative framing, calling this the largest IPO ever, while financial outlets are more cautious, saying it could become the largest. European coverage emphasizes regulatory angles and EU market access, which American outlets largely ignore. No region has provided actual valuation figures, despite this being standard IPO reporting. Florida has launched a major lawsuit against OpenAI and CEO Sam Altman over ChatGPT safety disclosures. The state alleges the company failed to properly inform users about AI safety risks and data handling practices. This represents the most significant state-level legal challenge to AI companies to date. But here is where the coverage diverges. American media frames this as consumer protection action, while European outlets with minimal coverage emphasize this as regulatory precedent setting. The specific safety violations alleged remain vague across all regional coverage, suggesting incomplete information release from Florida officials. Switzerland's central bank cut interest rates by 50 basis points to 0.5% in an aggressive move signaling European economic concerns. The Swiss franc dropped 0.5% against the dollar immediately following the announcement. This represents the most significant monetary policy shift in Europe this year. But here is where the coverage diverges. American financial media celebrates dollar strength and implications for U.S. assets, while European outlets frame this as alarming evidence of recession fears spreading across the continent. Russian media highlights European economic vulnerability as validation of sanctions' impact, which Western sources do not acknowledge. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has removed female and black naval officers from promotion lists in what critics are calling discriminatory purges. The action affects dozens of officers previously approved for advancement by Navy leadership. This has triggered immediate political backlash from Democratic lawmakers and civil rights organizations. But here is where the coverage diverges. American progressive outlets frame this as discriminatory purge based on race and gender, while conservative media presents it as merit-based correction of diversity-focused promotions. European media with limited coverage emphasizes damage to U.S. military credibility internationally. Russian media highlights American military chaos but provides minimal factual detail. Kenya is formally protesting a new U.S.-funded Ebola research facility, claiming inadequate safety consultation with local communities. The facility is designed to study infectious disease outbreaks in East Africa. This represents growing African skepticism of Western-led health research programs following pandemic-era controversies. But here is where the coverage diverges. American media frames this as misunderstanding of scientific protocols requiring better communication, while African outlets present it as neo-colonial imposition of risky research without consent. European coverage emphasizes legitimate sovereignty concerns that American outlets downplay. Neither Chinese nor Russian media have covered this story despite geopolitical significance. That is your NewZtar Intelligence briefing for Monday, June 1st, 2026. News in every angle, every morning. I'm Agustín Zepeda. Stay informed.